Shame. 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 Shame.
Yes, good morning, good afternoon, early afternoon, whatever you want to call it. Hope everybody's doing well so far. It's time to have a quick little discussion this morning. You know how I do, I'm not going to hold you too long. But you see the title, National Geographic admits bias reporting on Africa. We wonder where that ends. Also, a Mason Moore's testimony. Today we're going to hear testimony from a Mason who is actually a Moor, and a Moor who's actually a Mason and admits such and wants to explain his perspective on the whole situation. So we're going to go in on that as well. Here at Shame TV Eastwatch, we are the last man standing, not necessarily one. The last man standing is the last man who wants common sense to be of paramount importance. Common sense dictates vetting our community in order to have the us meeting. Okay? You cannot have the nigga meeting if everybody's invited. Fuck. These niggas gonna fuck shit up. They're gonna fuck shit up. They're gonna just literally fuck shit up. Also, I'm gonna have some audio being played today from a couple of people who want to voice their opinion. Hopefully they don't get flagged by the flaggers out there who flag for voicing their opinions. So we'll play some of that. But what we're gonna do right now is talk a little bit about this whole National Geographic thing. Now, National Geographic came out and admitted that they have been operating through bias when talking about Africa. Everything that they've been reporting, everything that they've been bringing out, presenting to the world, that this is Africa and these are AKA Africans, has all been biased. And the point that I'm trying to make with that, where we're going with that today, is here at Shame TV Eastwatch, we're over here watching this so-called conscious community, which is, as far as I'm concerned, completely dead. The last hope that it had oozed out a couple days ago on a live stream where the young new young phenom, who some of the people were putting hope in to stay righteous and stay positive, turns out to be a universal fuck nigga.
Shame. Shame.
Operating in the same manner as those before him, and you will see that come out on Shame TV, play out in the coming weeks. I'm going to show you how this man operates the same way that the Masons that he talks about operate. This man says that his number one problem with Masons is that they try to hide from you those things you should know. Well, one of the ways of hiding things from people, what up, Dark Man? One of the things that, one of the ways that you go about hiding things from people is through flagging their page when they're making statements about things that you've done. Let's say $10,000 and a daycare that never came to be. Things of that nature.
Shame. Shame.
What up, Selena? Asking people to help you pay your court fines when they had nothing to do with you accumulating those fines.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Yes. I guess when you bring these things up, certain people out there don't want those things being talked about. So they'll engage in page flagging to silence you from saying those things. Would you say, Dark Man? No, you know we don't do that over here, Dark Man. You know damn well if I smell shame, that bell is ringing, nigga. They know what these niggas is not sliding through. Ain't nobody sliding through, not with that blatant shit. Like, if you were still not in my face, then I'll let you live. Like I said, he was doing his thing. I ain't see no universal fuck niggas around him. All I seen was him, SETI, so-called, trying to do their thing, whatever, whatever. Okay, then all of a sudden, here comes Kev Gills weaseling around in the picture. I already know what he's about. So the fact that he's there lets me know where you are mentally, nigga. The fact that he's there lets me know that you are nothing that you claim you are. You do not see things better than people. You do not have a higher understanding because you would understand who and what this nigga was that's lurking right beside you. But at the same time, nigga, maybe he's beside you for a reason.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
That's just where I'm at with that. Nobody's exempt. And I'm going to ask that question. The difference between me and a lot of people, I'm going to ask you, what up, my G? I'm going to ask you straight up and down like I've been doing. Yo, so you flag niggas' pages when they ask you simple questions, bro? Didn't you say you was going to do that? Why would you? Don't you say that the Masons are trying to silence people? If the Masons are the ones trying to silence people, then why the fuck are you going around trying to silence people?
Shame. Shame. Shame.
That's a direct Mason tactic to attempt to go around and silence people. But that's what you're doing. Like when it comes to, when I start actually breaking down, going through and seeing what the fuck is going on, dog, you really don't, like, I openly tell people that Shame TV is here for the nigga meeting. That is what I create. That's what we doing right now. I'm not here on my master teacher shit because there's nothing to teach. All the shit information that everybody even talks about, everybody knows that shit, except if you a young ass nigga, you don't know it because you just coming into it. But all that other shit, we already know that shit. That's why I don't talk about it. That's why I don't need to talk about astral projection. I already talked about that before. I already know all about that I need to know. All right? All this ball of gas stuff, whatever, all that's interesting because I don't know what's factual and not all the time because that's the whole beauty of being on Earth and this planet. But one thing you're not going to do is you're not going to pretend like you're here for a certain cause and be for something else because I'm going to see that shit. And I see that shit. And I see deflection. Why do you keep trying to make other people look at other people as evil when your deeds was just as evil as the next nigga? So how the fuck is I'm automatically supposed to look at my Muslim brother or sister of mine who's Muslim as automatic evil according to you because you heard that on a YouTube video from some European person somewhere or read it in some book written by David Icke or someone affiliated with him or someone like him?
Shame.
Because that's where you got it from. You didn't get it from anywhere else. I know the channels and the avenues of study, nigga. Even the person that you got it from them, nigga. That's why the same information is always floating around. But you always talk shit about other people and then act like people are doing you wrong. You will pop shit about people and say, oh, these people are attacking me and I'm young. Nigga, you a whole, like me and my lady was talking about this in the car. She was cracking the fuck up, nigga. I said, yo, this nigga's like 24, 25 years old talking about, she just bust out laughing. Like, nigga, you a whole grown ass man. Fuck you keep running around with this young shit.
Shame. Shame.
To my 18 and 17-year-old little cousins, you an old nigga.
Shame.
Niggas running around with that bullshit, yo.
Shame.
Oh man, here we go with a quick little audio on these guys and their racist ass reporting.
Hey friends, welcome to this week's episode of Feminist Fridays, a series.
Hurry up, little girl.
Is where we explore social and political issues in news and media from a feminist and an intersectional perspective. There is a lot to cover this week, and I just want to remind you all, if you want to receive an exclusive cut of this week's episode, go ahead on over.
Let's get to it. No one wants to be a part of your feminist propaganda.
Whether or not a gunman is going to
But information is information.
Start another school shooting. They should be worrying about who they're going to ask to prom or whether or not they're going to pass Spanish, not burying their friends and teachers. In related news, here's a real gem. A Republican candidate for the Maine House of Representatives felt it was necessary to tweet about some of the Parkland High survivors and basically shit-talk them. So just like an individual who's really empathetic and mature and classy. He referred to one of the students as a bald-faced liar and then proceeded to insult Emma Gonzalez, who you probably know because she's been one of the most outspoken and visible students in the wake of the shooting. He said, and I quote, "There is nothing about the skinhead lesbian that impresses me, and there is nothing to say unless you're a frothing at the mouth moonbat." This dude's name is Leslie Gibson, and he's currently running unopposed. So if anyone wants to step up as the Democratic candidate to run against him, that would be great. Please do this. Gonna pause for 1 second so I can thank the sponsor of this video, Amino Apps, who helped ensure that I can continue making content. Amino is an awesome mobile app featuring a vast array of diverse communities for pretty much every interest or identity you can think of. However, one of the communities that I found and like the best is Feminism AF. That means feminism as fuck. It has a ton of really thought-provoking chat rooms, cute feminist artwork, interesting polls, and a wealth of news and information. Feminism AF is a locked community in order to create a safe environment for other members and to keep out those damn
story.
Size different.
I'm gonna play another one. It's a good story, but I gotta get to it. The way she talked about it, I should have just had a timestamp before I started. But we'll let Robin do it. She's just as good.
Now, while OJ is still getting his story straight, National Geographic is actually admitting they did it.
The editors now publicly admit that National Geographic repeatedly and intentionally portrayed Africans as naive, savage, and unintelligent.
National Geographic is vowing to do a better job of calling its past coverage of the world, in their words, racist.
Of course, National Geographic is racist. They tried to convince us that Jesus looked like John Wick. Props to Nat Geo, though, for calling themselves out. But this admission is like whenever ABC decides to finally give us that Blackish kneeling episode, overdue. Look at this photo from 1916. South Australian blackfellows, these savages rank lowest in intelligence of all human beings.
This is what they're putting. This is straight National Geographic. Whenever there was a picture of a black man, a black woman, anything of the sort, you automatically were cast inside of a fucking, let's say, stupidity bowl. And you got mixed up with a whole bunch of other black tribes who were in a stupidity bowl. And so now when it comes out, you're a lower level species. Your intelligence is nowhere. You are not a competent thinker. When you start actually going into the real of it and realizing from basic shit that my people created, basic shit like a screwdriver. A screwdriver is like one of the most basic tools, but it's one of the most necessary basic tools in existence. But my point is always, what the fuck were you doing before then? Why are you talking about me being of lower intelligence and my people being of lower intelligence? But this is something that was constantly done. This shit was done intentionally. This shit was done intentionally. You were intentionally reporting that you went to this tribe and they were all primitive and stupid, but you were purposely avoiding the truth. Now, I'm not bringing this up to talk necessarily about National Geographic. I want everyone to know that. I am not bringing this up to talk specifically about National Geographic. The reason that I brought it up was to show that it exists, that these biased reporting, meaning storytelling, i.e., authors of these little books based upon National Geographic studies, on the term author, thank you, institutionalized racism, produces institutionalized racist authors. So a lot of people's whole fucking worldview on Africa, the greatness of it or the non-greatness of whatever the fuck, generally comes from some European author, European editing. Call it out. Let's call it all out. Let's call it all out. European author, European editing,
Shame.
and taught by Europeans to everybody else.
Shame.
So when you start going off with your whole Africa shit, and I never in my life heard certain people talk about indigenous lands here and our people being here. And they know motherfucking well that there's evidence that that is true. Shit is crazy.
Islam Hotel. All is well, people.
This is a testimony.
Having a great day. It's nice outside, 80-degree weather. Got on some shorts, close to the homeland weather. Living in Michigan, and this is very fortunate for us because you never know what's gonna happen out here when it comes to these people and what they plan with. But want to get into some real vegetables and fruits. I don't do no meat, potatoes, vegan. But when it pertains to Freemasonry and the secrets of Freemasonry, what are the secrets of Freemasonry? Yes, one, I am a member of the craft. My degrees and all that isn't none of your concern, but I am official. And I became a member at the age of, was around like 21. So it's like, I'm not just jumping off the internet when I'm telling you things, but another thing is I do love the craft and I take it very seriously, even though I decided to take my lessons in a different direction. So I will never disrespect my other brothers of the craft or the craft. So just keep that in mind. You're looking for some symbols and signs, you might as well get off my video right now. Because that ain't what's about to happen. But the secret of Freemasonry. One, Mason, mother's sons. We all are mother's sons. If you understand what Masonry is a continuation of Moorish science because of the things that the Moors did after the fall of Kemet or the fall of Eclipta or Egypt. Those were the individuals who took the knowledge and passed it on and educated the other civilizations, taught the European how to bathe, taught them how to get their animals out of the home, and taught them how to corral and put their animals in fences and things. We were the ones who gave people chests and stuff. So the math, the science, the geometry, the astrology, the archaeology, that all comes from the original Masons. And the first Mason, if you all are not aware of, was Imhotep. So I don't want to hear none of that King Solomon stuff because Imhotep is the father of Masonry.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Not Imhotep. That's a good question, Dark Man. And we're going to get on that too. But for the sake of today's stream, I hear that Imhotep was the first Mason. That Masonry originally originated with Egypt, and this is not the first time I heard this. Let's be real about this. I'm me being real. The first time I heard that shit was from Bobby Hennett, I believe, because we're talking like 2006, 2005. So I'm drinking Gatorade and I'm burnt. Sorry, people. So anyway, 2005-ish is when I first heard that shit. When I first heard about Imhotep and the priests of Amun-Ra truly and really being a Masonic group in a Masonic order.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
So once I heard that, it's like everything else I've learned in my life, well, information I've taken in, I just put it in that information vault. That's it. Information that I brought in, that I suck in, that I take in. I don't know whether this shit is actual or factual because I never met Imhotep. But one thing I do know, you're going to have a whole bunch of weird niggas directed off the direction of a little weird nigga running around acting like they know, acting like they was fucking there. That's what baffles me about these niggas. But we'll continue and let the dude give his little testimony.
The fall of Kemet or the fall of Eclipta or Egypt, those were the individuals who took the knowledge and passed it on and educated the other civilizations, taught the European how to bathe, taught them how to get their animals out of the home, and taught them how to corral and put their animals in fences and things. We were the ones who gave people chests and stuff. So the math, the science, the geometry, the astrology, the archaeology, that all comes from the original Masons. And the first Mason, if you all are not aware of, was Imhotep. So I don't want to hear none of that King Solomon stuff because Imhotep is the father of Masonry. Nothing against, you already know, but we gonna move on. But all right, so that's another one. And also the Masonry, Freemasonry, the speculative part was to speculate is you are looking upon, you're not an actual operative. An operative Mason is a bricklayer, which I am as well, or contract. So I will be operative and speculative, so I can speak from both sides because I understand the science of both sides. And when we're dealing with speculative Masonry, we are not dealing in the same aspect of the original caretakers of Masonry, because you are just looking upon. So when you're looking upon something, you're not actually doing. So with that being said, when you're dealing with a lot of the sciences and issues, things are not the same.
Basically,
because once again, it's a watered down science. It's not the original science from Imhotep, because it is in science. In order to carry light, you must be a carbon-based individual. Mm-hmm. So people who are sulfuric-based, you naturally cannot walk in light.
Exactly. That's what I was taught about Masonry. Then I was taught how it was taken like everything else and used for fuckery. I keep telling people, is the gun bad or the motherfucker who uses it? The gun itself ain't bad. There's nothing that could be bad about it. But its usage, intelligence, illumination. Illuminati simply means to be illuminated. It's all metaphorical, nigga. It just means to be smart. To not be a dummy. To walk in light, whatever that light may be. It don't mean evil Mason, David Icke, Queen of England, whatever the fuck. I don't care what people who call themselves Masons take that shit and do with it. It still don't mean that's what that meant. Is this notion going around right now that evil was not on the planet? It's two notions going around. One notion is this matriarchal society thing, that evil on the planet and all the bad stuff started happening when men took power. How convenient and how unprovable. You mean to tell me no bad stuff was going on until men took power? Really? And then we got this, no evil was ever going on until Masons, which I guess are Moors and Muslims.
Another key to Freemasonry. So you need carbon to actually be an illuminated individual. And also, I'm pretty sure some of you probably heard the great brother, Minister Farrakhan, say that the melanated individual, I don't care for the word black because I'm not black, I'm not legally dead, and I am not pale. So I understand. I am Moorish American. I'm not a crayon color, and I know what nation I belong to. So when we get back into this, melanated individuals buried in a shallow grave, they are talking about you and you being unconscious of the situation that you are in the Northwest Gate. Northwest Gate will be considered north of Mexico, or what you all like to call the Americas. So over here, the melanated individual is in a shallow grave. You are unconscious of your situation. That is the key to Freemasonry. And
thank you, God. That be my whole point.
So important because you're a state. You have been tricked out of it. And yes, I'm a Moor, so I rock the fez, the same fez that the Shriners love to wear, and bedazzle my stuff. It was like, because that belonged to my people, and I don't need no bedazzled fez because I know the truth behind it. So even in that being said, you have to look at the time frame from when these individuals came about. I just gave you the key that the Moors were the one to educate the European and also give them what later became, what was Moorish science, which later became known as Freemasonry.
So first off, to all those who dispute me coming out and saying, Root, because I haven't seen you in a while, Root, where the fuck you at, nigga? Mr. And I ain't banging on you, Root, in no malicious way. I'm just saying, Mr. Evil Masons. Stream TV, you an evil Mason. I guess I am a Mason because I was once a Moor. So I guess I am evil. But I don't see him. Somebody need to send him something. Whoever in contact with Root, send him something. Where you at? Because all these goddamn Moors is coming out and saying the same shit I was telling you, nigga. Yo, Moors is the one who created Freemasonry, allegedly. Well, not created it, but gave it to them. Because allegedly, Masonry was devised by the priests of Amun-Ra. They were the ones holding secrets. That's why they even have a secret craft, a secret order, and all that shit. They were the ones holding secrets. Why niggas is running around calling Masons evil and calling other people evil. Root said he working on something. Root, you ain't working on nothing, nigga. Shut that bullshit up. Root, you ain't working on that, but we gonna give you your respect, Root. Root, you say you working on something. Where you working on it? No, but yo, these dudes, man, these universal fuck niggas really got a fucking problem, man. Like y'all really got a fucking problem with identifying reality, or you doing this shit on purpose. That's all I can think of. You doing this shit on purpose. You calling people evil when the same Egyptian craft, the Kemet craft, the Kemet, everything that you speak out your mouth is Kemet. But nigga, these niggas is the ones who started having secret orders and shit like that. The fuck? Why do they get a pass on not telling the people what was really going on? That's why I always tell y'all, I don't do that king shit. I don't do none of that bullshit. Oh, what up, queen and king? Because kings and queens was the most ruthless, evil fucking humans that ever existed. If you want to find a ruthless, disgusting, narcissistic, arrogant piece of shit, grab up all the former kings and queens that ever lived, emperors and empresses, and I guarantee you can just close your eyes and pick one, and you got a fucking tyrant.
It bedazzled my stuff. It was like, because that belonged to my people, and I don't need no bedazzled fez because I know the truth behind it. So even in that being said, you have to look at the time frame from when these individuals came about. I just gave you the key that the Moors were the one to educate the European and also give them what later became, what was Moor science, which later became known as Freemasonry. So with that being said, who was wearing the hat first?
Mm-hmm.
And why is it so important that Freemasons over here in the Americas actually wear the hat? Because they are, it's a whole mummers parade that they partake in Philadelphia, and it's as mum's the word that you are a damn fool and you don't know your own birthrights. The fact that you are tied into this landmass. So hell, that's why the judges, they got fezzes and secrets. Most of the cops got fezzes and secrets. Most of the attorneys rocking fez and secret. Like I said, I belong to both sides. It's not just mine, it's yours. So you need to know the truth so you can be brought up on that living perpendicular, you know? So
you got dudes who are actually coming out with having no problem with identifying their masonry, having no problem with identifying being a Moor, have no problem identifying that their people were engaging in this secret so-called behavior, even all the way back in Kemet, where people like to go and swing from the ball hairs of the pyramids and center everything around there. I learned something a long time ago, which always kept certain people on my radar, even though I respected them, because I thought that they were younger than they were, and the stuff that they were saying, Vince, you old enough to be saying that shit, and more. The fuck? But anyway, what always made me skeptical about certain people was the fact that, why you always dismissing? Like I said, I don't do the whole Moorish shit like that. What up, Boogie? I don't do the whole Moorish shit like that, per se. I know that the information that pertains to people who were called Moors, who look like us, is real. I know that information pertaining to my people being on this hemisphere prior to some European coming here and colonizing it and then bringing me here. I know all about that. That shit is a story. The logistics of it all, you know what I'm saying? Just no. You having a slave trade and bringing people here, yes, that existed as well. I just like to try to put things in perspective. I don't want to talk about one and omit the other. No, you have to talk about them simultaneously. You have to talk about them as one whole historic event. You can't talk about slavery and what happened with so-called slavery and chattel slavery, but you're not talking about the fact that you really were. So most of them people were brought from Louisiana, part what we call Louisiana, and brought from California and all that shit, and thought that they really was brought from Africa, but you was just sailed around. Nigga, no. Not everybody came here that way. Most of us were already here. There's too much history, too much information about that for me to ignore it and be like, oh, nah, everybody's just making up all of this. No, that can't be true. There's no way in the hell that people have been running around on this earth for thousands, probably millions of years, but this part of the land nobody ever came to until these people decided to actually come to it. That shit doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. None of it. So that's why I don't go with that, because common sense won't allow me to accept that as a whole reality. It's the same thing with these people. The actual reason that I'm saying this shit. Like, dog, how the fuck are you calling whole groups of people evil without recognizing where most of this shit comes from? Nigga, the same shit you represent, it comes from. And how you calling yourself a scholar and a teacher and you gonna bring the truth to people, but every time somebody talk about the information about our people being indigenous to this land, you fucking dismiss that shit to the point where I never heard you talk about that shit. Everything you say is either over in Africa or over and out of fucking space. Everything you talk about. I don't work with that. I gotta say something.
What later became, what was more science, which later became known as Freemasonry. So, with that being said, who was wearing the hat first?
Exactly.
And why is it so important that Freemasons over here in the Americas actually wear the hat? Because it's a whole mummers parade that they partake in Philadelphia, and it's as mum's the word that you are a damn fool and you don't know your own birthrights. The fact,
and that is a goddamn truth. Shane TV East Watch. National Geographic admits bias reporting on Africa. I wonder where that ends. For all you author lovers. Yeah, I'm talking to little niggas with fucking Eddie Munster joints. With the Eddie Munster points. The fuck? Where does that end? Mr. I study, I read, I study every day, I read. You're reading biased fucking racist fucking reporting. Same TV East Watch. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Yeah, man. I just want to take the time out. I'm not going to get too much deep into this shit. I just want to clown this dummy, this idiot. You know, there's this idiot by the name of Young Pharaoh. Been seeing videos from him. I seen him debate Tommy Sotomayor. I thought he did a great job. I seen him debate this white kid. He did pretty good too. Now he's not all the way accurate in his debates, you know, but he seems pretty good. He even make rap music, and his rap music is pretty good. But aside from that shit, all this dude does is get on YouTube and disrespect other black men. That's all I seen. All I seen this was Dr. Umar Johnson, Dr. Boyce, Dr. Tariq Nasheed. I mean, Sinetta, fucking Brother Polite. I mean, Farrakhan. I mean, now Farrakhan. Now, granted, that's why I got to pull your coattail at. First of all, you done had about 3 fucking videos out already. And you done had 2 to 3 hours on these videos. I didn't watch all of them, but I seen the time limit. You sucking another man's dick that hard, you taking 2-3 hours just to talk about you exposing him, motherfucker? Who the fuck is you? Farrakhan has been, now I'm not with the Nation of Islam, and I'm not religious or anything, but Farrakhan is one of the dudes who really does positive things in the communities. What the fuck do you do? Only thing I ever seen you do was get on YouTube with your homeboy and talk shit about another black man. You don't talk about no real shit going on that's really happening, that really needs to be talked about. All you do is diss other motherfuckers, other men, black men. And then you had a video talking about, you know, on one of the videos, you and your friend was talking about getting guns and killing, and they like, what the fuck kind of consciousness are you? You conscious motherfuckers are like church people. I don't even consider myself conscious. You niggas done fucked the name up that bad. I consider myself aware. All you motherfucking, I'm not gonna disrespect all the conscious me because I'm pretty sure some positive brothers and sisters who really want to uplift the culture and uplift our people. Like, there's so much to talk about. But Farrakhan, you talking about Farrakhan? Farrakhan did a lot of positive work, a lot of positive things. You know, Farrakhan helped out a lot of people. I don't know what type of crack mother you came from, or what type of history you got, but homie, you slipping. You know what I mean? And yeah, we know the Islam and the Christianity. We know there's negative things about it. We know whatever. You know what I'm saying? But you got some positive brothers and sisters out the Nation of Islam who do positive things. And if you ain't with being positive and uplifting our culture, shut the fuck up. You might as well just stop saying you conscious or whatever the fuck. Do what the fuck you gonna do. But you got some the shit I feel bad for is the idiots who follow you. Now, when you talk about Farrakhan, put some motherfucking respect on his name. Because
Farrakhan. The only reason I say that is because Farrakhan, in the realm of reality, has done a lot more for people than even people who don't like him give him credit for. Farrakhan has done more for people, even though way more than I give him credit for. You don't see me doing Farrakhan videos and picking up Louis to Farrakhan and the minister and calling him my minister. Some of them niggas be calling that nigga father. Like, that's where you crossing the line. That's where it starts sounding culty and all that shit. But at the same time, yo, Farrakhan, factually, nigga has fed more people than anybody running their fucking mouth on YouTube. Now, I might not give a fuck about it. You might not give a fuck about it. But the fact of the matter exists when it comes to hungry people who would have otherwise starved. That nigga's done more than the average person. It does, and thank you for saying that, El Boogie. It still don't change the fact that he could have done way more, and that part of him, his image, is a distraction to people. You see how that goes? You see how adults can handle nuances of a conversation? Meaning we can talk about the pros while also talking about the cons. Because when you're dealing with life has pros and cons. When you go out and you look at pictures of the wilderness, most of y'all all know what I'm talking about. Isn't that shit absolutely beautiful when those screenshots we have of the screensavers or some shit on your laptop and you pull it up and it's some beautiful picture of a lake and a mountain range and some trees and birds flying around and shit like that and a little dock, you know what I mean, a little fishing boat dock. There's nothing there but just the water and the blah, blah, blah. That looks so beautiful. That's the pro of it. Well, the cons of it, nigga, is mountain lions and bobcats and all types of predators in them fucking woods. And then when you go in the water, nigga, it may be piranha, etc. Like, it looks pretty. So we should be able to talk about the pros and cons. You should be able to handle nuances of a fucking conversation. Okay? And that part, I'm really getting sick of dealing with grown people who act like they can't handle a new pros and cons of a goddamn conversation. You either gotta be all pro something or all con. Like, get the fuck out of here. Where on earth does that exist? Where on earth does that fucking shit exist?
Is not just a guy that's just been talking. Farrakhan has been all over the country. All over the world. Thousands and thousands of times. Iraq, Iran, Saudi Arabia, met with kings, met You understand? Met with princes, met with all type of shit. He knows what the fuck he's talking about. You understand what I'm saying? So,
and Farrakhan should have came out and said more when it came to them motherfuckers threatening that kid's life too. And I ain't gonna change my stance on that. Farrakhan, as soon as he heard it, because I know he heard it, should have said something about that shit. He should have said something about that shit. But it still don't change the fact. It still don't change the fact that ain't no little nigga who just got finished, who's still in trouble basically with the law from shit he was doing in the fucking streets, ever gonna fucking, you can't come out and start talking shit about this nigga. You and who the fuck are you? I don't care that young niggas gravitated to you for whatever the reason that they gravitated to you for. Like I said, PewDiePie got a large fan base. Should we all be looking at him as a god and a king on YouTube?
And his speeches, I mean, and he talks about a lot of positive things. And if you talk about...
And I've never heard Farrakhan, before we continue, I never heard Louis Farrakhan try to turn the elders against the youth. And I never heard Louis Farrakhan try to turn the youth against the elders before we continue. I just wanted to throw that out there while we comparing. I don't give a fuck what you say your reason for it is. Nigga, your reason because you had a fucked up life is directly based to your fucking parents and your fucking situation, nigga. Because your situation was what it was doesn't mean Farrakhan gets to be called exposed and a piece of shit. And then you running around with Seti. You was talking about Kemet all this time, nigga, and now all of a sudden the Meganetta is fake. I always been saying that. No, you haven't. And I'm gonna need some evidence from Seti that he's banging on the beast. Okay, we know who the beast is. The beast is the fucking devil. The beast are them people. I'm gonna need some evidence of your 20-year career of banging on the beast, because I've never seen you involved and engaged with a conversation with a European and you were banging on them. That means you're a fucking fraud.
Malcolm X, him killing Malcolm X. Farrakhan wasn't responsible for killing Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? That was the Nation of Islam exactly responsible? We don't know. We still don't know to this day. The killers has been home. The three murderers that's been home since 2009 have talked. So do your research. Now, I love Khalil Muhammad as well. I don't know what happened. I don't know why he got killed or what was the situation. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I still love and respect, rest in peace to Khalil too. And I love Malcolm X too. We don't know. First of all, you wasn't even around at the time. Farrakhan has been around for years. I've personally seen Farrakhan come to the hood and speak and didn't charge a motherfucking dime. I seen him go to Brownsville Project.
Now, let's stop right there. Where have you ever been for free? Mister, I traveled all over the United States while on probation. For felony probation. I don't know where they do that at, but not where the fuck I'm from. But that's neither here nor there no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I thought the nigga was done with the shit. I didn't know you was still on papers till 2020. Like, I found that out a day or so ago. Like, god damn, G, everything I thought about you, none of that shit's real. I thought you were like 19, 20 years old. Come to find out, your ass 25 goddamn years old, basically. I hear all this black woman is God shit. I hear all this. Then I found out niggas involved in the same YouTube fuckery, taking advantage of sisters for rides to lectures and shit, and places to stay. I know you'll come out and say that they offered, but whatever. Who gives a shit? My job is to just get this shit out here, to let the people know that these niggas think that they could come around like Polite and the rest of them niggas did, running their mouth about this is the age of Aquarius, all will be revealed, and for some reason, they keep thinking they're exempt from that shit. No, all of you niggas are going to be revealed. So we're gonna have to go into that.
In Brooklyn, then go right to Queens, then go straight to Chicago, then go straight to New Orleans in fucking 2 days just to speak and talk about what issues is going on within black people, what's happening to us with our government and with black on black issues as well. So you sound stupid. You sound foolish. You bringing us down. You understand what I'm saying? I feel bad for your dumb ass. And for the fucking record, you bozo. When you talk about Mason, he's a Mason. Who the fuck is not a Mason? A fucking Mason is someone who's building something. Masonry work, building. Okay, so if you're about building, then you're a fucking Mason. It's common sense. Google the fucking word. That's the, and then I seen a video with some of the clip where you said, when it comes to reading books, you don't trust too many black scholars, so you read mostly whites. So if that's the case, you might as well.
I ain't even gonna finish it because I don't even want to be accused of the rest of saying what the rest of what that brother said.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
By the flagging committee. Yes, you said that. I didn't say it. But apparently you feel that you don't trust black scholars. So you trust the ones like National Geographic, who from the time of their conception have been biasly reporting. You want to know what bias means, Mr. Little Smart Guy? You want to know what bias means? It means, what did he say the other day? Holding back information that you should have. That's what bias means. Those are the people you've been reading from. That's why you sound the way you sound.
Shame. Shame.
What up, Soul Journey? Yeah. Today we heard of Mason Moore's testimony. First off, so I don't want to hear any more little Moors, Root, any more of you little Moors running around talking about Masons are evil. You're talking about yourself because you call yourself a Moor. And the Moors practice Islam. So Root, from one Mason to another. Islam, Moor.
Shame. Shame.
That's
shame.
According to the Moors. Okay, this is Shame TV. I'm just reporting on what the Moors are saying. But we heard the testimony today of the brother Atum on being a Mason and a Moor. His take on it. He actually spoke about Imhotep. Yes, Imhotep of Kemet Way. Imhotep being the originator of Freemasonry, and that's when I chimed in and I saying, when I was man, we're talking like 15 years ago, man, almost, when I heard that from Bobby Hemmett. And he was talking about the priest of Amun-Ra being a secret order, a fraternal secret order, a masonry order, a Masonic order, right there in Kemet, the priest. Actually, they were talking about how that was what brought down the greatness of Kemet. It began to fall when the priests started controlling shit through their own little order, trying to circumvent the power of the pharaohs.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Now, I wasn't there, so I'm not going to tell you what happened on Tuesday, 16,000 years ago, on a sunny day or some shit like the rest of these niggas who think they can tell you shit because they read it from an author who are biased. Who haven't been engaging in systemic racism. The books you read, G, are saturated with racism. Why do you, isn't this all coming full circle? This is only for the people who know me and been, you know, coming to my page. You know that I've been telling y'all for at least the last year or so that it has been about a year and a half or so, maybe 2 years since I've actually read a book. Other than, you know, like how to do books and shit like that I have around here. And shit on, you know, printing shirts and stuff like that. But an actual study historical text, I've become jaded with it. I'm tired of it. I have become tired of it because I came to the point where I had to realize that, you know what, man, all this shit I'm reading is just somebody's motherfucking opinion, yo. Like, when I look on the back of that book, it's a face there. And it's a human face. So everything that I took in from this book was placed in here by this human. Now, I don't know where they got this shit from. I'm just to assume that because this human has certain letters, certain little marks called letters beside their name, that then I am supposed to automatically take all this shit in, hook, line, and sinker.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
I must then ignore all the other variables that life has. Like, who exactly is this person? What are their allegiances to, if any? Do they have any preconceived notions? Do they know how to separate their preconceived notions from just fact gathering? Are they undertaking this whole project as an intentional distraction? These are questions that I ask myself after reading books. After I got to about 33, 34, I'm reading, I'm like, you know what, dogs, all this shit sound good, but I read this book and it says one thing. I read When God Was a Woman and it says something different. Then I read this book and it says one thing. Then when I read African Codex, whatever the fuck, it says something different. Then when I read, like, it's like, it gets to the point, dog, where it's like, what the fuck, man? The battle then becomes the battle of the authors. Whose author is the better author? You'll start talking to people about a book. Nah, so you got to read. Wait a minute, stop right there. So what you're saying is, nah, your author is not the author. This author is the author. You got to read this. Says who? It's all arbitrary, nigga. There ain't no fucking facts to corroborate what these people are saying. That's why I get upset when a nigga starts telling you he has the truth. No, you don't. You have a strong opinion about something. Nothing more.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
And then you have the nerve to present yourself to the people as somebody who's going to clean up the fucking community, which is an undertaking that I am currently engaged in. And so you decided to jump in my field. You said because you said before, nigga, you don't do this shit. You about teaching and this, that, and the third. But I guess activity to the page wasn't what you wanted to be. I know that goddamn record, when that album dropped, that shit completely flopped. So that shit completely flopped. So it's like, okay, now it's time to get traction back again. That's what it's starting to seem like. Now, if I'm wrong, I'll be wrong and I'll admit that I'm wrong. But that's not what I don't think I'm wrong right now. That's what seems to be going on. Traction. Let me start going at the Nation of Islam, but they came back and banged too hard, so you had to leave that alone.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
So now you're going to turn your attention to the Moors indiscriminately. See, like I said, I never talked about the shit that this nigga talk about because that's information that you want to talk about. But you know, what do you know about Moorish science? You don't know shit about Moorish science. But we'll talk about things about you and involving you in Moors. Because when you're in a certain realm, certain things you don't fuck with, and you know, because you're doing a certain thing, and then like I told everybody last night, do not ignore the exposed videos. Anybody that you see on YouTube that you like and you really like them, always watch their exposed videos. Do not give, if what they're saying is true and they're righteous about what they're saying, they can withstand the test. Nigga, watch their exposed videos.
Peace, family. It's your brother YK the Truth. And let me just get straight to the point, man. I'm sitting here watching young Pseudo disrespect Minister Farrakhan, disrespect the Moors, right? Watch how I break this down to y'all real quick. How the fuck are you banging on Islam when you have Allah as a last name? Pharaoh Allah. You idiot. In the beginning, you was teaching about Yaqub and his bullshit theories. So how can you disrespect something that you represent? So let's play it. Let's show the people how ignorant and stupid you are. Let's go.
Peace, peace, family. Pharaoh Allah University. You ain't gotta wait no more. Pharaoh Allah University.
This idiot just said Pharaoh Allah University.
Has anybody seen anything from that? Any first degrees? And are these degrees are crushed? No, I'm joking.
And I'm thinking to myself, like, what the hell is wrong with young Pharaoh? And what the hell is wrong with his followers? Because if I was a follower of young Pseudo, I would say, well, damn, did you have Allah? Don't you have an Allah University? This goes to show you that most of his followers don't really know too much about anything in the conscious community. They don't really know about Islam and all that.
That means they're enamored with the person. So they're so much enamored with the person, polite-ish. That's why that person showed their true colors and attempted to put out a rap album that, let's just say this, that person does a average video, that should have dropped numbers, G, like 7,000 views in a day, sometimes more than that. That nigga drops an album, that shit was scrambling to make 100.
These are love and hip hop followers. So don't get mad when you see them committing this ignorant fool. So you bang on Islam, but yet you have Allah as your last name. And you teach the Yaqub story. Then you teach that Yaqub came from the mad scientists and all of that. I got the videos. I could easily play the videos back.
So they're saying that somebody supplanted a race of people on the planet Earth. And they say that Yaqub supplanted the race of people on this planet Earth 6,000 years ago. Now I'm going to tell you why that's true. If you look at white people, right?
And for all Pharaoh followers, just go back to his videos, right? So you bang on the person who taught you, who you got all your information from.
And not only do you bang on them, you call them exposed, you say you exposing them. The difference again between you and the way I attack my Moorish brothers and sisters is I attacked them, I told them before, on a realm of correction. I'm just being accused by one more of taking the Moore's information and banging on more. No, nigga, that's just your accusation against me. What I'm actually doing is what I said I'm doing. You guys have been saying and doing a lot of shit without proving it for decades. So what I'm doing is putting the pedal to the metal on this. We're going to put this in full speed ahead. If you have been teaching this shit, if you're more and you've been teaching more science, status correction, all this shit, etc., we need to say finally 20 years at least of real-time application of a more. You mean to tell me nobody in this whole social media age has decided to make a documentary of being a Moor for the last 20 years, a Moor for the last 10 years? Here's my status correction. Here's my car with no license plate, how I drive around every day to the grocery store, here and there, wherever I'm going, with me being a Moor and interacting with these people who are trying to stop me from doing such, blase, blase, blah. That shit don't exist. And that's what I get on the Moors about. And I'm not going to stop getting on them about that shit. It's not going to change.
This is what you do. You represent Egypt, then you bang on the hieroglyphs, say it's never been deciphered, but yet you got a fucking ankh on your neck. You wearing all this shit that you don't know what it means. But it's something that's just not wrapped too tight with that. Then you banged on the Moors, right? And did you forget who you went to get your status correction? You went to Tazadak. Did you forget?
Now I can tell you from personal experience, this brother will do your paperwork. I actually just sent my UCC
What's his name?
Statement off this Monday. I'm waiting for a response. The brother did. It took him 3 days to do my paperwork.
Who?
Family. So when you write him, you might say, "Oh, it takes 2 weeks." For him to respond, but that depends on how backed up he is. But I can vouch for the brother who does respond. You can call him, and like I said, he did mine in 3 days. Not saying expect to get yours done in 3 days. It might take the full 2 weeks, but I can say the brother will get on your paperwork same day, same night. It's easy to pay him.
What's his name?
It's not hard. The brother's name is Tazadak. Tazabaq.
The brother name is Tazadak.
Brother saying that he does paperwork.
Did you forget the Bay in that? Huh? So you bang on the Moors, right? Young Pseudo. You bang on the Moors, but you went to them for status correction. So family, this is the brother Tazadak right here. And let's see what Tazadak Shabe has to say.
I call it African American.
Okay, let's get it. Let's go.
Or actually inferior to white. White is purity. White is that which is righteous. Black represents bad and evil. So if you're referring to yourself as a black man, you're referring to yourself as a bad and evil man. Now watch this. Watch this. A Polish man belongs to Poland. That is his nation. A German man belongs to Germany. A Japanese man belongs to Japan. What is the nation of a colored man? What nation does a colored man belong to? What nations do a black man belong to? What nation does a black man belong to? What nation?
I hear you. Peace, peace, everybody. Just listening, man, letting everybody know, man. All these guys got exposed videos, man. Watch the fucking exposed video, man. But I want to go back a second.
But yet you got a fucking ankh on your neck. You're wearing all this shit that you don't know what it means.
Because it's attractive to people. It's attractive to people. It's attractive to people. It draws attention. And it's still relatable to people. It's like, we're not going to give you, it's like, okay, you get it, slavery, and now what we're engaged in America in our day and time is what is called slavery light. See what I mean? We get slavery light. Slavery light is slavery with whipped cream on it. It's eating shit with whipped cream on it. When your ancestors just ate the shit. Now you get whipped cream and you don't believe that you're eating shit. That's what's going on here. So when you're dealing with these little individuals like this person, once they get to a certain status, they're going to reveal themselves. That's why I say, Shame TV, the last man standing, man. I'm the same as the first day I came, man. The same Shame. Same as the first day I came. Because I'm secure in who I am. I do not need AdSense and Google AdSense and Patreon and a whole bunch of super chats about nothing to pay my bills. Whereas these individuals rely on that shit. That's why I told y'all about the black male unemployed YouTuber. I told y'all this months ago. I said that entity cannot be trusted any longer because that entity's survival is based upon AdSense and Google. They're in partnership with Google. So the only way that they're making money at all in life, see, when y'all think I'm talking about making money, to you, you're thinking about, okay, more money than what you normally make when you bust your ass every day, hustling around, however you hustle and however you get it, making your bread. This would be something extra that you're doing, bringing in more bread. But no, this is not that. This is what these niggas do, nigga. Like, yo, tomorrow morning, Kev Gills, Monday morning, Tuesday morning, Kev Gills has a whole day of doing nothing ahead of him. That's going to be paid for by the city of Los Angeles and the rest of it by McDonald's. He's not going to pay for any of this shit. He's going to slip and slime his way through life. These can't be the examples that people are seeing. This is not on my watch, not on East Watch. You can't. No, man. Come on, G. I would have even stopped banging on his ass about that Sonetta shit if he had really addressed it. Nigga, he caught you. I don't want to hear nothing except you talking about that. That's why I don't want to hear shit from that nigga mouth except that. When he starts talking about that, then I'll actually listen to stuff he says probably again. Till you talk about that, I don't want to hear shit. Because anything you say is deflection from why you got caught saying the one thing you could never get caught saying. That's just how that shit rolls. And the same thing's going for this little nigga. You starting to get caught saying and doing shit that you can't get caught saying and doing because of how you presented yourself. You presented yourself talking about Yaqub and the whole Farrakhan and the whole Farad Muhammad story. Then you get with Seti, who always talked against that shit. Now you talking against it. You come out, you call all people Muslim while using Muslim names like Allah, etc. But they all evil and shit. But you're using a title, whereas one would identify you with a Muslim. Why wouldn't they? Why would they not identify you with a Muslim? If I put on the front of my name when I'm signing something, Bishop Derek Jones, people are going to identify me with a bishop as being a Christian bishop. Why would they not? What the fuck else would they consider? Why would they think of something else? Why would they not consider me a priest if I'm attaching that to my name? It's just sad.
But it's something that's just not wrapped too tight with that. Then you banged on the Moors, right? And did you forget who you went to get your status correction?
Oh my God.
You went to Tazadak.
Don't say it.
Did you forget?
Now I can tell you from personal experience, this brother will do your paperwork. I actually just sent my UCC.
What's his name?
Statement.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Now I'll break this down to y'all real quick. And did you forget who you went to get your status correction? You went to Tazadak. Did you forget?
Now I can tell you from personal experience, this brother will do your paperwork. I actually just sent my UCC.
What's his name?
Statement off this Monday. I'm waiting for a response. The brother did. It took him 3 days to do my paperwork.
Who?
Family. So when you write him, he might say, "Oh, it takes 2 weeks." For him to respond, but that depends on how backed up he is. But I can vouch for the brother. He does respond. You can call him, and like I said, he did mine in 3 days. Not saying expect to get yours done in 3 days. It might take the full 2 weeks, but I can say the brother will get on your paperwork same day, same night.
Now I'm gonna let this play because I'm gonna let this play. Yeah, they do, man. They do. They do help the heavyweights. They change them. I'm gonna let it play, but because he's vouching for the brother, but he did also vouch for the black card, and we all know how that turned out.
Easy to pay him.
What's his name?
It's not hard. The brother's name is Tazadak. Tazadaq.
The brother name is Tazadak.
Brother saying that he does paperwork.
Did you forget the Bay in that?
So did you forget the Bay, or did you intentionally leave the Bay out? That's just a question. Please don't fact me.
Huh? So you bang on the Moors, right? Young Pseudo. You bang on the Moors, but you went to them for a status correction. So family, this is the brother Tazadak, right here.
Yep. Yep. What a tangle web we weave. What a tangle web we weave. But Shame TV always catches those who deceive. Always. It's too much to go over in one day. In one stream. I will be going live again, where we'll be talking more in depth about daycares and daycare violence. Apparently, out here in these streets, there's daycare violence going on. You know, up in New York and shit. Apparently, Brother Polite, in more breaking news, is being attacked by Sonetta again. Filthy Frank. We're going to have to talk about that. Frank is on the warpath. I think he's attempting to save his award show. I think you should just give that shit up, Sonetta. It's going to be a debacle, man. Till you do right by the people, Sonetta, everything you think about is going to fail. That's all I have to say about that. But we will be going in on some motherfucking daycares and daycare violence. And there's one incident of dog fighting in a goddamn daycare. I wonder what kind of savages would be attached to shit like that. But you will be surprised in this conscious community We got Savage. You guys want to hear that today? Y'all want to hear that right now during this stream? Or do y'all think we should wait till later? You guys tell me. Y'all let me know. Because it's up to the people. I am a man about the people. Polite is going live later today, Soul Journey. Well, that is one stream that I will be listening to. Now, if anyone knows the time that Polite is going live, I would love for you to tell me now. I will post that in my Facebook group. I want everyone to have their screen recorders ready. You said now? Oh, he live now, Dark Man? Cause I'd love to hold on. We about to go over here. Cause I'd love, and I mean love, to hear what Polite. He's still on that Raccoon page or Rycon page. Goddamn Rycon. Always gotta say some weird ass shit. Excuse me. Oh, is that scheduled at 3:15? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. We definitely going over there. Raccoon. Fucking dumbass. But, Sonetta, you better be careful, nigga. Oh, shit. That nigga about to bang on you. Sonetta. He is going full Nino Brown. That nigga is full Nino Brown. I cannot wait. I want them to go full Nino Brown. But yeah, let me see what we got going on here, guys. Because there's a dog fighting operation discovered up in Buffalo. Little evil ass niggas in a goddamn daycare. Somebody supposedly, it's just crazy. It's a whole lot of shit. Cruelty to animals. Just so sad. I don't know. We might go into it. I don't think I'm going to do it in this stream because I want to keep this stream for what it is. I'm going to be specific with my streams. And bro, don't flag me. That's how I knew saying while we're dealing with shaming this individual. We gotta go with bro, don't flag me. You know, I just want to voice my opinion. You know, don't be on your Mason shit trying to hold the P. And this is for young Pharaoh, for anyone who may be confused. I don't want him to be on his Mason shit, which is called keeping information from the people. So I don't want you sending people to flag me to keep information from the people. I got a little page. It's probably not even going to be seen. You know, you're a big wig now, so you don't have to worry about us over here. What you think? But yeah, we talked today about National Geographic admitting bias reporting on Africa. And I asked the question, I wonder where that ends. We asked that question today here at Shame TV because we wanted for people to know that when you find a certain level of evil, a certain level of no good ass ism somewhere in something, trust and know that it's not going to stop there. You know, it's going to continue. It gets worse. It's like the same saying, the old saying everyone talks about. If a guy is going to hits a woman, and you go and tell your mother or your father or your brother, whoever he hit me, they'll generally tell you, look, man, you probably need to do something different because it's not going to get better from that. Like he's probably going to, he's probably going to do it more. You know, it's not going to be, he's not going to hit you and then that's it. He's just going to stop. So you have to realize that once you see something, you always have to think, not just automatically assume, but think that, hey, this is probably not going to get better. There's a possibility that it could have been something just whatever. Am I still breaking up now? We should be good. Oh, hold on. I'm not going to order this. Because I be having like a lot of horse shit on my joint. We should be better. Still breaking up. I don't know why. It's just out of nowhere. Well, it's all good. I'm about to. Yo, Shadow Assassin, you bugging, yo. Oh, that's what it might be. Hold on. Is that good? Somebody blaming it on the horse wrangler. They probably are. It's all good. I was about to end it anyway. I was about to end it anyway, so. Oh, that's probably why. Hold on. No, I had it on mute, y'all. I was on the phone. Is it better now or is it still choppy? Because it's not saying anything. It got to be YouTube. No, can y'all hear me? Yay or nay? Can I get a yay or a nay? A yay or a nay? It's still crackling. I don't know why. It's raining really bad over here. Because it's raining really, really bad out here right now. So that may be it. But I'm about to close out anyway, guys. I was just coming to y'all today to let you know that National Geographic has admitted bias in reporting. To anybody that knows, National Geographic is a fucking global entity. National Geographic is, yeah, I am using my Wi-Fi. National Geographic is It's a global entity. It has a far-reaching arm. It's basically, I don't know any schools in America that didn't have National Geographic magazines in the library. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's how far-reaching. So it's like this education that people think that they have is the reason why I told you I stopped reading so much. Because I said I have to find another way of educating myself, because this is not, I can't just keep doing this because these people are full of shit. They're not teaching me. I cannot sit here and accept that these people are teaching me everything. Oh, so you got to cross-reference with more of these people? Because that's what cross-referencing means. You're still using more authors. You're not using anything different. You're using authors. It's all Euro-based. So it's like when you read it, I had to teach myself to read with what is called a discerning eye by some people. Meaning, I had to see between the lines, man. I had to say that, okay, this is what this person is telling me, using information. I know they don't want to tell me the complete truth, so blah, blah, blah. Like, you have to study that way. You cannot just read a book and be like, I'm studying every day, and I'm reading, what the fuck are you talking about? You're sucking in all this shit that these people want you to suck in the way they want you to suck it in. Shane TV Eastwatch, we're about to sign off. Today we heard from a Moor who was a Mason.
Who are sulfuric based, you naturally cannot walk in light.
Talking about the Illuminati.
So you need carbon to actually be an illuminated individual. You know, so I'm pretty sure some of you probably heard the great brother, Minister Farrakhan, say that the melanated individual, I don't care for the word black because I'm not black, I'm not legally dead, and I am not pale. So I understand. I am North American, I'm not a crown color, and I know what nation I belong to. So when we get back into this, melanated individuals buried in a shallow grave, they are talking about you and you being unconscious of the situation that you are in the Northwest Gate.
And that is what he is referring to as Masonry. Not anything evil. In his opinion and in his studies, Illuminati is illumination for the melanated, the light, so to speak. That type of talk, what he's talking about, that's a spin-off into a lot of the religions. Why, if you supposedly study, you would know that most religions were created by our people for other peoples, not necessarily themselves. And these religions were allegedly, we're going to say allegedly because I wasn't there. Okay, I wasn't there. But allegedly, these people created these things to take entities who do not possess the carbon, let's use that term, who did not possess the melanin, to automatically, let's say, walk in the light, the ability to automatically engage in walking in the light and in total intelligence and enlightenment and peace with one another, or a certain level of it at least. You cannot assume that you know everything about something and your take on it, or the European take that you make on it, is the take on it. Because you already admitted you don't even read books from your people. Now I have to wonder what you niggas is really trying to do. Shane TV Eastwatch, signing off. We'll be back on later, probably after Triple C goes on and does whatever she's going to do today, if she's going on to. So we'll be back later. We will be discussing later dog fighting in Buffalo. Criminal behavior yet again by people. Is this evil Were Masons involved in the dog fighting schemes and scams in people's homes and shit? Was it Moors or were they Muslim? Were they a combination of them all? We will talk about that. We will also talk about Sarnetta and his continued fury against Brother Polite. We will talk about that as well. Shane TV East Watch, signing off.
Shame. Shame. Shame.